Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm from Japan. I like reading and traveling. Okay, now imagine you're in a room with 20 other people, and 15 of them just said the exact same thing. How do you stand out? How do you make people actually want to talk to you? Here is the truth: most people introduce themselves in the most boring way possible. They use the same words, the same structure, the same energy. But what if I told you that with just a few small changes, you could introduce yourself in a way that's interesting, memorable, and natural? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And this is the episode that will change the way you introduce yourself forever. Welcome to English Boost Zone, where you learn to speak English naturally and confidently. Today's topic is super practical: how to introduce yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking. You already know how to introduce yourself in front of others. But here's the problem: most English learners use the same basic template, and it works, sure, but it's boring, it doesn't create connection, it doesn't start real conversations. In this episode, I'm going to teach you a better way. In this episode, we will cover what not to say in introductions, the perfect introduction formula, advanced techniques to sound more interesting, common mistakes to avoid, and a fun practice exercise at the end. By the end, you'll know exactly how to introduce yourself in any situation, whether it's at work, at a party, in class, or online. So let's get started. First, let's talk about what not to do. Here is the typical boring introduction look like. Hi, my name is, I'm from China, I'm 25 years old, I like music and sports, nice to meet you. You have to find, what's wrong with this? Nothing, technically, it's correct English, but it's generic, it's forgettable. Let me explain why. Everyone says their name and country, that's expected. It doesn't tell people who you really are. I like music and sports. Okay, but so does half the world. What kind of music, what sports, why do you like them? There's nothing interesting for the other person to respond to. The conversation dies immediately. When you memorize a template, you sound like a robot or a child talking. There's no energy, no emotion. Here's what happens after a boring introduction. The other person says, "Nice to meet you too." Then awkward silence. Nobody knows what to say next. So how do we fix this? Here's a better formula. It has 4 parts. Just say your name clearly, don't overthink it. You should say like, "Hi, I'm Maria." "Hey, I'm James." That's it, keep it simple. This is where most people mess up. Don't just state random facts, connect your introduction to the situation. For example, when you are at a networking event, you should not introduce yourself like, "Hi, I'm from Brazil, I like coffee." You should introduce yourself like, "Hi, I'm here because I'm really interested in digital marketing." See the difference? You're connecting to why you're there. For example, when you are in a language exchange event, you should not introduce like, "Hi, I'm 28 years old, I like movies." You should introduce like, "I'm learning English because I want to work internationally." Now people understand your motivation, that's interesting. And when you are at a party, just simply say, "Hi, I'm from Korea, I study economics. And I actually know the host from university, we were roommates." This gives context, it starts conversation naturally. This is the game changer. Share something specific that makes you memorable. Don't say, "I like traveling," because everyone likes traveling. Instead, say something like, "I've been to 15 countries and I collect postcards from each one. I'm trying to learn one new recipe from a different country every month. I recently started learning guitar and I'm obsessed with it." Notice what these do, they give the other person something to ask about. You also say, instead of "I like reading," try, "I'm currently reading 3 books at the same time, which is probably crazy." Instead of "I work in it." I work in IT and I spend half my day explaining to people how to reset their passwords. See, these are specific, they show personality, they're memorable. Don't just stop talking and wait, invite conversation. For examples, what about you? What brings you here? I'd love to hear what you do. Have you been to this kind of event before? This makes it easy for the other person to respond. Let me show you complete examples using this formula. For example, you are at a conference and you want to be introduced with some new people, then speak like, "Hi, I'm Alex. I'm here because I'm fascinated by artificial intelligence and how it's changing education. I actually teach high school, so I'm always looking for new ways to engage students. I'm curious, are you involved in education too, or are you more on the tech side?" Why this works, because here you declare name, context, why they're at the conference, unique detail, teaches high school interested in AI, opens conversation, asks about the other person. For example, your first day at a new job and you want to be introduced with some new people, then speak like, "Hey, I just started in the marketing team today and I'm still trying to figure out where everything is. Before this, I was freelancing, so being back in an office is a bit of an adjustment. Do you work in this building or are you visiting?" Why this works, because it is relatable, everyone remembers their first day. Honest, admits to being new. Friendly, makes a joke about adjustment. Invites help, people like to help newcomers. And now imagine you are at a party and you want to meet some new people, then speak like, "I'm Tom. I'm friends with Sarah from yoga class. She basically dragged me here because I never go out. I work as a graphic designer and honestly, I spend way too much time on my computer. It's nice to actually talk to real humans for a change. How do you know Sarah?" Why this works, because it declares about humor, jokes about being dragged. Self-aware, admits to being introverted. Specific connection, mentions how they know the host. Continues conversation, asks the same question back. Now think you are in an online meeting and you want to introduce yourself, then speak like, "Hi everyone, I'm joining from Tokyo where it's currently 11 p.m. I've been working as a software engineer for about 5 years, but I recently got interested in UX design, which is why I'm taking this course. I'm excited to learn from all of you." Why this works, because it says time zone, mention, shows consideration. Career context, explains background. Current goal, shows motivation. Positive energy, creates good vibe. Let's talk about what not to do. Not to sharing too much personal information. Don't overshare in first introductions, like, "Hi, I'm Mike, I'm divorced and I have 2 kids." Another, "Hi, I'm Lisa, I'm struggling with anxiety and depression." These topics are too heavy for a first meeting. Save deep personal details for later. Not to being too modest, because some cultures teach us to be very humble, but in English-speaking contexts, you can be confident. Don't say, "I'm just a student. I don't really do anything interesting." Simply say, "Hi, I'm studying computer science and I love it. I run a small online business." Don't diminish yourself, be proud of who you are. Don't talk too long because it feels people bearing. Keep your introduction short, about 20-30 seconds maximum. Don't tell your entire life story, just give enough to start a conversation. Don't show no energy left to you. Your tone matters just as much as your words. Smile when you talk, use hand gestures, show enthusiasm. Even if you're nervous, try to sound friendly and warm. Don't forget to listen your opposite person. After you introduce yourself, listen to the other person's introduction. Ask follow-up questions, show genuine interest. Remember, conversation is a two-way street. If you want to take your introductions to the next level, here are some pro tips for you specially who desperately wants to talk to English. Tip number 1, match the energy. If you're at a formal business meeting, be professional. If you're at a casual party, be relaxed and fun. Read the room, adjust your style. Tip number 2, use humor when you talk. A light joke can break the ice. Speak like, "Hi, I'm John. I'm the person who always forgets names, so I'll probably ask yours 3 times. Sorry in advance." But don't force it, only use humor if it feels natural. If you notice something you have in common, then mention it like, "You're from Canada? I visited Vancouver last year. That's a very beautiful city." And now think, "You're a teacher too. What grade do you teach?" Common ground creates instant connection. When someone tells you their name, repeat it. Like now you both are known to each other, so keep it natural. Like, "Hi, nice to meet you, Jennifer." This helps you remember, and people appreciate it. Okay, now it's your turn to practice. Now I'm going to give you 3 scenarios. Pause the podcast after each one and create your own introduction out loud. Are you ready? Just imagine about the first day at English class. You're in a new English class. The teacher asks everyone to introduce themselves. What do you say? Okay, now match your introduction with this example. "Hi, I'm Anna. I'm taking this class because I want to feel more confident speaking English at work. I'm an accountant and I have to attend a lot of international meetings. Outside of work, I love hiking and photography. I'm excited to learn with all of you." And now think you're in job interview. The interviewer says, "Tell me about yourself." What do you say? Okay, now match your introduction with this example. "Hi, I'm David. I have 5 years of experience in customer service, and I genuinely enjoy helping people solve problems. In my last role, I increased customer satisfaction scores by 20%, which I'm really proud of. I'm excited about this position because it combines customer interaction with team leadership, which is exactly where I want to grow." Imagine you are in a social event, like, you're at a friend's birthday party. You don't know anyone except the birthday person. What do you say? Pause 10 seconds. Okay, now match your introduction with this example. "Hey, I'm Sophia. I work with Rachel. We're both in the same company. She's been talking about this party for weeks. I love the music, by the way. Are you one of Rachel's college friends?" Let's recap the main points. Very easy and natural formula we have used in this episode, like name and simple, context connector like why you're here, unique detail like something memorable, open question to invite or start a conversation, and what to avoid giving an introduction of yourself. Being too generic, oversharing, talking too long, having no energy. Remember, be specific, not general. Show personality. Match the situation. Listen actively. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be you, just a more interesting, confident version of you. All right, here's your homework. This week, I want you to introduce yourself to one new person using what you learned today. It can be online or in person, at work, at school, or in your community. Use the formula, add something unique, see what happens. I promise you'll notice a difference. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who's learning English, and subscribe to English Boost Zone so you don't miss our next lesson. Also, I'd love to hear from you. How do you usually introduce yourself? What's the most interesting introduction you've ever heard? Leave a comment or send me a message. Remember, every conversation starts with an introduction. Make yours count. Thank you so much for listening today. Keep practicing, keep improving, and most importantly, don't be boring. I'll see you in the next episode of Simple Learning. Until then, go out there and introduce yourself with confidence. Bye for now.